Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Duke Tobin. Because I feel like this offseason's been full of so many W's. We got a new defensive coordinator, new defensive line coach, new linebacker coach, new offensive line coach, new offensive line assistant coach. We've gotten a lot of W's this year. Okay, a lot of W's this offseason so far. It's been a good offseason. Obviously, Eric All going out really sucks, but you know, it is what it is. You can't change the past, you can only change the future, right? Well, with all the things happening and going down, we have to now bring it back to Duke Tobin. Because I feel like Duke Tobin's kind of getting away with a lot because all the W's that have been happening, we haven't really been focusing much on Duke Tobin anymore. But there is a situation where Duke Tobin's the problem. So, all-time net draft value, when it says all-time, I don't know if it says all-time, but the last 4 years, okay? Last 4 years, this is the net value for all the draft picks. So, what they do is they take all the draft picks the last 4 years, they give them a certain value depending on how good they have done, and then they put that value together into a net value, okay? So, if a player is a bust, he's going to get a 0. If a player is really good, he's going to get a high number, right? You know, so it makes sense, right? Now, in reality, as we can see down this list, there's only 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams that are above a 0. It goes to show how bad NFL scouts are, in all honesty, right? 8 teams, Eagles are the best. Whatever the Eagles are doing, they know their front office is the smartest in the NFL. The fact that their front office hasn't been picked dry, like people are trying to pick dry our Trey Brown, is actually kind of crazy. Because their front office, no matter what, they hit gold. Like, anything they touch turns into gold in the Eagles front office. But Steelers are number 2, Colts are number 3, Chiefs are number 4, all the way down to 13. We are currently 13. Now, to Duke Tobin's credit, we still are, we're 13. We're middle of the pack, okay? And we're not all the way down to the bottom here, and we could be. Like, we go all the way down to the bottom. That's the Jaguars at negative 7,601. But we need to get this number back in track. We need to be inside the top 5 for NFL drafts. Because that's the only way you're going to build your team. In reality, free agency is great. Yes, you do build your team through free agency 100%. But the problem is free agency costs a lot of money. And at the end of the day, you cannot build a whole entire team through free agency. The draft is where you build your team. Day 2 picks are where you build your team. First round picks are great, but day 2 picks, day 2 and 3 are where you build your team. If you can't build through the draft, you're never going to be successful. Because free agency, again, is great, but free agency is kind of putting the finishing touches or adding in players that you maybe have lost. I lost the right guard. Let me add this free agent. I lost a corner. Let me add this corner. You know, that's kind of how free agency is supposed to work. It's not supposed to be you go into free agency and you have 15 positions you need to fill. Oh, my team sucks. I have 20 guys who suck. I need to fill those 20 positions. That's not how free agency is supposed to go. Because everyone in free agency is like inflation. Everyone costs more money. The top players cost more money. Everyone's bidding on everyone. The draft is where you really get your bread and butter. And we need to have a good draft this year. We do. And Duke Tobin's drafts so far have not been that great. So we need to get this crap figured out and this crap under control. Because right now, sitting at 13 is not the worst. But, I mean, we look at our last draft, it was not the greatest. And honestly, the last 4 drafts, outside of a couple key players, let's be honest, were not really the greatest. So, like, for example, let's look at the last draft. Chris Jenkins, home run. Love him. Jermaine Burton, there's a lot of talk about him being, questionable with his character concerns coming out of college. He so far has not worked out. I'm holding off and saying I hope he does, but so far he's not worked out with his character problems, whatever. Amarius Mims so far looked good. Okay, so first and second, really good picks in my opinion. McKinley Jackson dealt with injuries, got some play time. We'll see how he ends up working out. Eric All missed most of the last season, and he's going to miss all of next season. He's out, which isn't Duke Tobin's fault, by the way. But when Duke Tobin drafted him, the understanding was he did have injury concerns in college. That was the understood, right? Now, in the end, it's not a GM's fault for a player getting hurt. What it is you have to look at, how they did in college, what they went through in college, and what they might do in the NFL. Josh Newton so far, I actually really like that pick. Tanner McLaughlin didn't really play much. And then we have Cedric Johnson, didn't really play much. They're not playing Matt Lee much at all, which really ticks me off because I feel like Matt Lee could be a really good draft pick. And then we have Anthony. Anthony didn't play much. 2023. Miles Murphy, so far looking like a bust. But, new defensive line coach, I have confidence. DJ Turner, I really like DJ Turner. Now, I know there are some people who don't like him, but I think he's going to become really good eventually. Jordan Battle, probably going to turn into a linebacker eventually, which I'm cool with. Charlie Jones, other than the punt returner, nothing really. Chase Brown, home run hit. Absolute home run hit. Yoshi took a step back this year, but still really great player. Brad Robbins, absolute miss. Poison Ivy, I'm not going to call it yet on Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy, I hope, really turns it around, but so far, Poison Ivy, not really hitting. 2022 NFL Draft. Dax Hill, actually at corner, looking a lot better than at safety. Really like that pick. Cam Taylor-Britt, I'm holding off judgment until we see him in Al Golden's defense. Zach Carter, bust. Cordell Volson, I'm not going to say bust, but definitely not what we expected from a third-round pick. Tyson Anderson, I mean, he only plays special teams, with really good at special teams, but that's it. Jeff Gunner, off the team. And that's 2022. That was not a good draft. 2021 obviously was Jamar Chase's year, which, listen, great home run hit with Jamar Chase. Outside Jamar Chase, Jackson Carman, complete bust. Joseph Asai, good pick. Cam Sample, good pick. Tyler Shelvin, no longer on the team. Deontay Smith, career backup. Evan McPherson, the commission will later judge that. Trey Hill, career backup. Chris Evans, career backup. And Wyatt Hubert, no longer on the team. And then 2020, obviously, we did have a home run hit with Joe Burrow, which, works out very well. T. Higgins, home run hit. Logan Wilson, home run hit. Hakeem Davis-Gaither, great hit. And then the last three was Akeem, off the team. Marcus Bailey, still on the team, but not really that great. And Khalid Kareem, no longer on the team. But obviously, those first four hits, really great hits. Again, we just need to get a good draft. And we need to figure this out. And how I look at it, again, is you see these other teams like the Eagles always seem like they're hitting and just absolutely killing when it comes to some of their draft picks, and we need that. We need to draft some money, and we feel, wow, that guy's going to be a really good startable piece for us. Obviously, it's easier said than done, but I feel like we've been having more hits, more misses than hits. And with, being ranked 13th, We need to get that inside the top 10. So let's have a good draft this year. I have faith we will. I have faith we'll turn this around. But it all starts right now. See you guys next one. Peace out.